It seems like the trendy thing nowadays is to just get rid of everything you own. People are realizing that we own too much, which is good, but at what cost? Throwing away your clothes won't get rid of your overconsumption. The problem with throwing things out is you make space for new things to come in. I believe that if you aren't happy with your clothes now, you're never going to be happy with any clothes you buy in the future. It's about building a sustainable lifestyle change instead of purging your closet every 6 months. This year, I'm focused on building a system that will prevent me from getting to that point in the first place. Hey guys, it's Cherise aka cherisberriesbiz, your local sustainable girl, and today I'll be discussing my low-buy rules for 2025 and what are the steps that I'm taking to ensure its seamless integration into my life. This low-buy is realistic, sustainable, and definitely customizable, so feel free to adapt these ideas to your life. Sustainability doesn't require perfection, you just have to start somewhere. If you don't care about sustainability or you don't give a fuck about our planet, which I highly doubt, there are a lot of other reasons to actually participate in the low buy challenge. Like number one, the most obvious one, it saves you money. Who doesn't want to save money? Like if you don't want to save the planet, you at least want to save money, I'm sure. I recently resigned from my full-time corporate job, so that means I do have to save money. And that's kind of part of the reason why I'm doing this whole challenge. It also just stops you from mindlessly buying into trends and saves you money that way. Number two, you get to know yourself. It forces you to look at your spending habits. What triggers you to spend? What makes you unhappy with some purchases and happy with others? I believe that if you aren't happy with your clothes now, you're never going to be happy with any clothes you buy in the future. You need to know what you like and what you need in order to distinguish which purchases are worth it. In that way, you also get to know yourself as a person outside of your bad spending habits. And lastly, number three, it inspires your creativity. When you're forced to work with pieces that you already own, you're forced to look within and realize, what is it about this thing that I like? And with that, you just allow yourself the freedom to experiment and be creative. You get to ask yourself, how can I make this work? How can I make this look better? And my personal favorite, why did I ever stop wearing this? When you can't just buy things to give you that quick dopamine hit, you're forced to look for it somewhere else. May it be your creative hobbies, talking to your friends, I don't know, something else like living a life and touching grass. I'll elaborate on that later, but all of this is great, right? So what's the challenge? So the main challenge is to buy a maximum of 12 brand new pieces for the whole year, or around one brand new piece per month. If I can do less, then that's even better. Since I also have the goal of saving money, I've also set a budget cap to this, which is a maximum of 1,000 pesos or whatever US dollars every month. And it accumulates over the months if I want to save up for a big purchase. You can totally adapt these rules to your lifestyle or whatever it is you have a shopping addiction for. Like I also have a low buy challenge for makeup, which is much more stricter because I realized I don't need more lipsticks when I only have one pair of lips. But there are a few specifics to this challenge. For example, secondhand clothing. I also have a maximum of 3 secondhand pieces per month with a 1 in, 1 out policy. 1 in, 1 out means whenever something new comes in, I just have to take something out in exchange for it. So ideally, these pieces would be acquired at a swap party where you swap your used clothes for someone else's used clothes. So that does solve the 1 in, 1 out policy thing already. And I honestly think this is the harder challenge because people forget that we can still overconsume when we're buying secondhand. Like while it is better for the planet than buying brand new, it does defeat the purpose of curating a closet of clothes that you truly love. So we're trying to keep that in a more manageable amount. That being said, if I do buy brand new, there will be no more fall. I believe that buying brand new items is justifiable if you're buying things that are made sustainably and made to last. So for me, that means I'm buying genuine leather, I'm buying real gold over stainless steel. I'm just overall investing in quality. Granted, you can buy these things secondhand, like I love vintage leather, but it does get complicated because of sizing, dry rot, and just overall age. So that's why personally, I don't mind buying these things brand new as long as I know they're going to last. And I know not all brands are sustainable and not all sustainable brands are cheap. But let's just not buy from fast fashion, please. Like, I don't think there's ever a world where fast fashion and quality like mix. If you're in a tight financial situation, I highly recommend thrifting or buying secondhand if you can, so that you can still get quality pieces. And in general, if you want quality, you just have to avoid shopping online, which leads me to the next part. How do you actually stick to your low buy? It's getting sticky. I'm taking off my glasses because the lighting is starting to change. Number 1 is to avoid online shopping. In order to invest in quality, you have to be able to inspect your garment properly. And you can't do that if you're shopping online. Feeling the fabric, inspecting the seams, looking at the stitches. Overall, just seeing if there's any problems with the construction of the garment. Because those things can be easily hidden by these brands when you're shopping online through the angles of the pictures and whatnot. It's the reason why most consumers have no idea what quality looks like anymore. Because we're so used to shopping online that we just, hey, it looks good, I can post it on Instagram, why does it matter if it's gonna disintegrate in the wash or not? I'm not saying you can't find quality finds online, but even if it is quality, there's just no way for you to know how it's going to fit you. Because I'm pretty sure everyone has experience buying something online, and then when it arrives, it looks like what you ordered, but when you put it on, you look nothing like the model, even though you guys are the same measurements. Because measurements are just numbers, and yes, it's a guide, but there's no way to tell unless you actually put the garment on. That's why for me, if I want to buy from a local brand that doesn't have a physical store yet, I ask them if they're going to have a pop-up anytime soon so I can actually fit on the garment. It's a whole other tangent I can go about, but if you're serious about investing in quality, then shopping online isn't the best way to do it. Tip number 2 is to have a wish list system. This is very important. Come closer. It's going to change your life. When we like something, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to own it. And it's totally valid for you to appreciate a piece of clothing and then move on. Just think about Pinterest, for example. When you save pins, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to own that specific kind of clothing. Saving things to a wish list allows me to appreciate the idea and the thought behind a piece without actually owning it. This way, I can identify if I really need the item or do I just want to own it. There's a difference. It also just allows you to look at the item multiple times, thus reducing this feeling of newness and excitement over it, thus allowing you to avoid impulse purchases. So what I do is I screenshot items and then I put it in an album, and then at the end of every month, I review it. So last January, I actually screenshot and put quite a few items in my wish list, but I ended up buying none of them. Because I realized all of these things did excite me, and yes, I would wear it if I did own it, but do I have to own it? That is the question. The closest one that I almost bought was these pair of shoes, but then I realized that I only really wear 2 pairs of shoes, and I'm basically set for my whole life. So I didn't need another one, to be honest. Which is exactly where the 3rd tip comes in, which is to record your outfits. I recently started to document my outfits using this app called Index. Not sponsored, but Index, if you're listening, I'm right here. Basically, what you do is you take photos of the items that you own, and then you can record outfits with it or even plan them digitally if you catalog your whole closet. When you take the photo, it removes the background, and then it allows you to collage different items together to show your outfits. Personally, I use it to record my outfits instead of planning outfits because I don't like planning outfits. I never follow through with that. So when I get home, I just take photos of the clothes that I wore that day, and hopefully through that practice, I get to catalog my whole closet eventually. There's a lot of different functions that I haven't even fully explored, like it breaks down your cost per wear, but unfortunately for me, especially when I'm thrifting, I don't really have awareness of how much I'm paying for pieces. So little cool features like that can like inspire you to see that, oh, I did spend so much money on this one thing, but I'm getting so much more out of it. So I found that through this challenge, it allows me to repeat formulas of the outfits without actually repeating the outfit itself. Like I have a lot of tank top plus maxi skirt outfits or tank top plus polo plus shorts outfit, thus allowing me to find new combinations for pieces that I would have never even reached for in the first place. Hopefully I get to a point where I logged most of the clothes in my closet so I can remember which pieces are not being worn. Speaking of things that have never been worn, this leads me to my next tip, which is styling something old with something new. Because even if I haven't bought anything this year, I am so shocked to find that I still have clothing that are brand new with tag. Take for example this red tank top. I bought it during my trip to Japan and I just never wore it since. And I don't even know why, because I've been wearing this tank top non-stop now, and whenever I do, I get so many compliments. I found that to make new items less intimidating, you have to style them with pieces that you already love, just like this thrifted long sleeve top. However, I did end up wearing a short sleeve polo because it was so hot that day. I honestly really love this outfit, which never would have happened if I didn't look through my closet for pieces that I've never worn. And that's the beauty of a low buy. Sometimes the next best piece is already waiting for you in your closet. You just don't know it yet. If you do want to get rid of certain clothes, then I suggest doing a trial run first. I have this bad habit of getting rid of clothes that are perfectly fine and that I actually like and I love wearing them. It's just that I already have too much clothes, it starts to overwhelm me. So whenever I get too overwhelmed, I end up donating these pieces and then regretting it later down the road. For example, this thrifted linen skirt that somehow ended up in my donate pile. I love the color, I love the fabric. I just don't really find myself wearing miniskirts nowadays, and that's why I put it there. So I put it in my donation trial pile, which I periodically check time to time to see if there's any pieces that I want to style again. I did end up looking for this skirt, and this time around, I decided to wear it as a beautiful linen tube top instead. I get asked a lot where I got it from, and it's literally just a skirt that I decided to wear as a top. So I'm glad that I put it on donation trial first to see if I'm even going to miss the item. Storing it away from my main closet and then checking in after some time allows me to look at the piece with fresh eyes and make it feel brand new again. Because you'll never know what you got till you lost it, especially if you do really care about the pieces that you put into your closet. You can't dispose of it that easily, like Luka getting traded to the Lakers. But once it's been around 3 months or there's a swap party coming up, that's usually when I donate the long-standing pieces in the donate pile to find a new loving home. Finally, for my last tip, if there's anything I want you to take away from this whole video, let it be this: creation over consumption. Nowadays, everything and everyone is vying for your time and attention to sell you things that you don't actually need. Being more intentional with what you consume, how you spend your time, it is an act of rebellion. So instead of consuming, create. There's so many ways to find fulfillment and happiness outside of buying things. Journal your thoughts, read books that inspire you, take care of your body, talk to your friends. This low buy is not at all some sort of punishment to me. If anything, it's been fun and fulfilling. I get to learn more about myself, reconnect with my old creative hobbies. Knowing yourself outside of consumption is one of the best things you can do for your style and your life. So I hope this video inspires you guys to try a low buy for yourself. Again, it does not have to be as strict or as comprehensive as this one. Even just setting some sort of budget or boundary for yourself and then working your way from there makes a whole lot of difference already. Just start somewhere and you'll be surprised at how much you can get away with so little. So share your thoughts, your goals, whatever, questions, stories in the comments below. I would love to read them. And I covered a lot of ideas in this video. Let me know if there's any one in particular that you want to hear more about, because I would love to talk about it more. My goal is to post monthly updates on my low buy, so follow my Instagram since the January recap is up and live now. And I successfully haven't bought anything new for this month. That's it for me today. Thank you so much for spending time with me and have fun dressing up. Fit check!